Most brands think the fastest way to grow is to become more visible. More posts, more stories, more launches, more noise. But the brands people are actually obsessed with do the opposite. They're quieter. They're harder to access. They don't explain themselves. And somehow, demand keeps rising anyway. That isn't luck. That's architecture. Unavailable brands don't win because they're mysterious. They win because every part of their business is designed to signal authority before the sale ever happens. And this is where most entrepreneurs get it wrong. Because they assume availability equals opportunity. That if they don't show up constantly, they'll be forgotten. That if they don't explain, justify, or convince, people won't buy. But high-ticket buyers don't respond to effort. They respond to confidence, clarity, and structure. When a brand is always available, always responsive, always explaining itself, it subconsciously communicates uncertainty. It tells the market, I need you more than you need me. Unavailable brands send the opposite message. They don't chase attention. They curate it. They don't stack more tactics. They remove friction by design. This is exactly what we rebuild inside our signature program and our private VIP strategy days. Most of our clients don't come to us because they're invisible. They come to us because they're exhausted. They're posting. They're launching. They're answering DMs. They're doing everything right and still feeling replaceable. What they're missing isn't visibility. It's posture. Unavailable brands aren't created by posting less. They're created by needing less. And that only happens when your brand, your offer, and your website are doing the heavy lifting for you. This is why we're so intentional about structure. Inside our work, we don't ask, how do we get more people to see this? We ask, what does the market need to feel before they ever reach out? Because desire doesn't come from information. It comes from restraint. Think about the brands you trust instantly. They don't flood you with content. They don't over-explain their value. They don't offer endless options. They make one thing feel inevitable. That's not branding fluff. That's commercial psychology. And it's why so many entrepreneurs accidentally repel premium buyers while trying to be helpful. Every extra post, every bonus explanation, every over-delivery moment that wasn't designed intentionally, it chips away at perceived value. This is why we teach clients to build demand systems, not content systems. Inside the signature program, we re-engineer how authority is communicated across the entire business: offer structure, brand narrative, pricing posture, and visual hierarchy. So the brand itself does the convincing. And for clients who want to shortcut straight to that perception shift, our website templates aren't just pretty designs. They're pre-built positioning systems. They limit choice. They guide attention. They remove the need for explanation. Because when your site does its job properly, you don't need to chase. This is where unavailable brands quietly dominate. They aren't scrambling to respond. They aren't negotiating pricing. They aren't convincing anyone they're worth it. The market has already decided. And here's the part most people don't want to hear. You cannot perform unavailability. You can't fake it with fewer posts or slower replies. If the structure underneath is chaotic, the restraint won't hold. That's why we don't teach surface-level tactics. Our VIP days exist for clients who need this solved decisively, in one focused session, where we rebuild the business architecture so demand is created by design, not adrenaline. And the signature program exists for founders who are ready to stop operating like service providers and start operating like category leaders. Unavailable brands don't hustle less because they're lazy. They hustle less because they built leverage. If your growth feels fragile, if you feel pressure to constantly show up, if rest makes you anxious because you're afraid momentum will disappear, that's not a mindset problem. That's a systems problem. And once it's fixed, everything changes. You stop chasing attention. Clients come pre-sold. Your brand feels calm instead of frantic. That's the quiet power of unavailability. And it's something you can build, intentionally, strategically, and without disappearing from the market.